Welcome back to the Ground Up Podcast, episode 76.
Jam-packed episode with all four guys back from their golf trip in Portugal. They pulled together by the pool 10 top business tips.
You're only 3 connections away from anyone in the world. Brackets, maybe 6 unless you're Stu.
We're also going to be talking about bringing out digital IDs, Trump's medical experience, and then on the topic of kids, you'll see Stuart's kids running riot.
This is what happens when Ryan's not set up properly and runs it properly.
Remember, we do have the go-karting and the Ground Up Live event, so make sure you head over there and get tickets. The go-karting's only in a few weeks and tickets are selling fast, and the live event is on the 9th of January. Enjoy the episode.
Dub Squalor.
Ground up sound. Ooh, yeah. Real estate deals. We lay them down. Let's get those deals. Deals making money, baby.
Welcome back to the Ground Up Podcast, episode 76. My name's Stuart. I'm joined with Jack and Ryan, and D is on his way. He'll be imminently. He's yet on the way to another meeting at 7 o'clock in the morning. We're shooting this on the 26th of September. Just got back from a fantastic golf trip, and we're going to probably talk a little bit about that today. We did do a bit of work, and we sort of worked out 10 life lessons that we think would be quite good to share with you guys. We're going to do a bit of general catch up as I've been away for a few weeks, so it'd be good to hear what Jack and the rest of the guys have been up to, and talk about a few up and coming events and see where this podcast goes. So, Jack, how you been, mate?
Yeah, all good, all good. I felt like a lone ranger, and the wolf pack wasn't complete. It was funny. I was very, very jealous, especially because I'm getting into golf as well. So like this medley of wanting to be around you guys and play golf. But I did the Ground Up Network. So in the Ground Up Network, guys, we do a live call every week where we go through deals, talk through pinch points in business, bottlenecks, and it was just me hosting, and it was so peculiar, just me and a bunch of the lads and ladies from the network, but it was good. We had a good session.
Like that before, mate. You can handle it.
Well, I know. All good. Just chugging along. Still capital raising for a few things. Got a deal that I think we'll get over the line, which is a nice PD scheme, 12 mil GDV, on the outskirts of city centre, so quite central for us. It's pretty crazy at the moment in the sales space in our business, because I feel like every week we've got someone buying something. You know, our estate manager's going out, handing over the hamper, which is quite exciting. So it's like a week in, week out, we've got an exchange or a completion happening, which is really good. And then sitting at home, being jealous of you lot sharing photos and videos in Portugal.
You just said before we started, you are a young dad, which is obviously another major reason why you couldn't just drop everything and come for a few days. But it was great. You were sorely missed. I mean, we did talk about you pretty much 3 or 4 times every day while we were there, and we did play your game Empire, which was a massive success. For the resistance I got at the start when I mentioned it, I said Jack mentioned that game. Everyone was too much. I said, look, it might be a bit of logic, it might be a bit of guesswork, but let's just give it a go. And then we done the first game, and then it was like, everyone want to do another? Everyone's like, yeah, let's go.
That was mostly drunk people going, it's too many rules. But the second we got into it, everyone was so into it.
Who were the main winners? Did anyone win twice?
I think we had
three
rounds.
twice. 3 rounds. But no one really won. No, it was just too random because we were getting used to knowing everyone anyway. And we had
the drink was flowing.
It's interesting. So when I play with work, obviously my brother's there, and we've grown up together. Well, I've known him for 30 years, so we can finish each other's sentences. So when I'm playing with work and him, I've always got to think I've got to have a word that people in work wouldn't associate with me, or a name of a person, and then also he will always know my celebrity vocabulary. So there's a lot of tact to it. Interestingly, when I first met my father-in-law, when you meet someone and they're very pleasant, and he's quite a successful business owner, there was this game that we would play in the US, and it was called Wits and Wager, and it was a numerical. It's a really good game, and it's a board game, so you got to buy a board game. But you have a question like, what's the tallest wave that's ever been recorded? and you vote in feet each. So you write it on your own whiteboard, but if you go over it, you're out. So you've got to be under the amount. And then what you do, everyone writes their answer on a whiteboard, and then you put it down on almost like a gambling table from highest to lowest. And the person that gets it right, so that's between the next highest answer, the real answer, and their slightly lower answer, gets the points for getting it right. And then you gamble on either higher or lower. You gamble on everyone's too high, or you gamble on other people's answers once you see them, and it's really good fun. But what I found really interesting is I was kind of like, like almost like gauging my father-in-law up, and he picked up that game so quick, and you could just tell like the business intelligence coming into it. He knew how to like back up his bet, so he was always winning on the gambling. And then when he thought he knew a really safe answer with a lot of headroom, he'd double down on it and go in quite aggressively, and he just basically won first time he played. And I'm pretty good at that game. I love that game, and I was like, this guy's smart. And anyway, it got sparking a conversation.
Professional gambler for a living, is he? Is he a poker player?
No, he loves gambling, but it sparked a conversation. When he was like 20 years old, his living was hustling people on a pool table, and I just love it. That's so American. And also it takes a lot of tact, a lot of people skills, because you've got to warm them up. So you've got to, play a few games, make sure they see that you're not an absolute bandit on the table. Then you put money on it, and then he'll just smash them up. And that's his living. He used to take money off people by winning on a pool table in a bar.
That's cool.
As a living, which is pretty cool. But there you go. But yeah, you find some board games, I think, take a lot of like critical thinking and brain power, and you can see some people just like I since being in business, my like critical thinking is so much. I look at like the risk, the gaps, and that's why like Ben's pretty good at business, because he used to be a poker player and assess downside, and look at his cards that he's been dealt and go, is there a huge risk here? Shall I, float and put on a poker face, or shall I go in aggressive, or shall I fake going in aggressive? So love it. Anyway, gambling's, I think it's got gambling and has an association with business for sure.
Speaking of gambling, so it was on day 3, I think. It was towards the end. In fact, it was the last night that we were like, right, let's go to the casino, spend the rest of the cash in our pockets. And we turned up at 1 minute to 3 for it to be closed. Dorian did find it hilarious, as we spent what, 20 euros getting there and about 30 euros getting back.
Yeah, the whole context to get there, get back. The way Stuart was walking up to the door, and there was a group trailing behind, and we got to the tunnel as we were walking. All of a sudden, just see them turning around,
Head down.
And,
Disappointment.
I've not laughed so much. It was so funny. There was a couple of other moments that are just hilarious.
Obviously, D doesn't drink alcohol, but he might as well be the most person on every night out, because he's just. Let me pull up a video that just shows this is D, 24/7 when we're out.
But it's better than drinking alone.
I reckon I've got like 6 or 7 different times where D is up on karaoke.
Oh, he absolutely loves it.
Mate.
The Piano Man is his song.
Yeah,
See his element when he's on stage.
This one as well is a pretty. This is a favourite photo.
That was a new deal. Me and Jim just done a new deal, mate. Just celebrating.
Doing Dimbo. And then this is a lovely little wholesome photo of full gang, excluding the girls. The girls were here as well, but this was just a bloke's photo.
There's 4 new guys there. So there's Josh, Jack, Chris, and Sean, who are all followers of the Ground Up Network. So shout out to you boys. Yeah, Sean just turned out of nowhere.
Yeah, with Alabama. It was so good. I didn't realise that the nights out were going to be like a big part of the trip, but like, yeah, we got in a little routine of smashing beers all day, playing golf. I mean, waking up with some ciders all day, beers, playing golf, getting back, few beers to kind of sober up and have dinner, and then went out in Villamora. And then what was the last town we went to? Was Aqua. How do you say that place?
Albufeira or something?
Albufeira or something.
Albufeira.
Oh, Albufeira. That's right, old rough houses.
Yeah. So it's Sticky Street, mate. Sticky Street. It was like a very, very cheap Las Vegas, but it was Benidorm / Magaluf / all that. It was great. And we turned up. We're like, where the are we? Because we turned up in 3 cars, 3 Ubers. By the time everyone got together, it's been about 45 minutes in. And by then, the first group had settled in quite nicely. The second group were like, what's going on? By the time the third group got here, the brewers were flowing, and we had one of the best nights. But it was excellent, man. Real good fun.
There's a lot
Great
of
group.
alcohol, and it was just like the ski trip, you know, where like you go and you're with a load of cool mates anyway, and then some strangers will show up, like Jack. Jack's a good example. Jack Hinn, I think his name was, tradie, from Wales, and he just showed up, and he said he was like a little bit nervous to show up because he didn't know anyone there. But he showed up, mate, soundest guy, had a great time. And then obviously we were all pushing him to get on the property ladder, which is why he was there. We were like and helping him with strategy, and there was some good strategic talks I think we had as well, but very casual. It was just a really nice, wholesome trip where we got a bit of networking done, getting to know people, helping people who are different stages of their journey, and then just getting absolutely smashed and being golf, which is great. Congratulations
Who
to
won
Jim.
golf
as well.
overall?
Jim
Jim
won.
Did he?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was paying
but
off
I think-
28 handicap.
Yeah,
Plays
yeah.
what?
He was paying off a 28 handicap, but he can definitely, he plays almost every week through the summer, so he should be on at least 20, and then he wouldn't have won, and then Matt might have won.
Matt shouldn't have played off for 28 either. Like Matt was saying that. I think Chris and Sean probably won. They were probably the most consistent golfers.
Chris, I think Chris would have won it in this, but yeah, it was great. It was great.
Jack, how did you feel when you were seeing some of the stories go up and things like that? Were you like, oh,
I was getting big FOMO. I was getting really big FOMO. Yeah, do you know what's really funny is what screwed it for me is the in-laws were coming over to help her out in the house, and I had it all dialed down, dog in kennels, in-laws coming over, but then they got asked by my father-in-law's brother has a house in Portugal, and they had a fixed trip that they're going in 2 weeks, so they wanted to join that trip. So coincidentally, the reason I couldn't go to Portugal is because the in-laws are going to Portugal.
Portugal? That's well good.
It's even worse. But
Sounds like you got to bring your dad. You got to bring your father-in-law on the next one. Bring your dad as well.
Yeah.
You're right, laugh, mate.
probably a good topic for the listeners. I've thrown myself into business so much that I haven't really done anything like play golf. You know, if for the last 10 years, if someone goes, do you want to come on a golf day during the week? I've always said no. I've said I need to be in the office. I need to be the engine behind the driving force. And now we've got more of a team, and I've got someone that monitors my emails, and we've got people in the business doing more. I've started to get into golf, and I've realized how much value that is. Spending time with investors and people that you work with on a golf course is, I actually think, more valuable than being in the office. I took out 3 of our investors probably about a year ago, and the amount of it's weird, the amount of almost trust that you gain just by spending a few hours on a golf course. So that made it even worse because I'm getting into my golf and starting to get, every time I play, I'm getting better. And
let me double down on that, Jack, because for many years I've been very much the same. Where it's like I nearly didn't come on this golf trip because I was like, I could be more productive and do other stuff, and I don't really play golf. And my reasons for not coming were very practically driven. But beyond just the work, just being around cool people, having a good time, getting to know people, and there's just something about it made me realize this is what it's all about. Having the team who can run the business, and we landed a few big fish as well whilst we were out there. One big client that Neil got over the line, and me and Matt were just at the time. I think we were just heading out into Villamora, and me and Matt looked at each other. We were like, this is great. The funnel and the sales it is working without us needing to do anything within it. And we've just landed another big fish. And it makes you think if you can build and systemize the right teams, then you can build the sort of life that you want. And I think it's cool that Ground Up is becoming this hybrid events company as well, where we're trying to get people together, have good experiences, share ideas, go skiing, go karting, go golfing, with anyone from any walk of life who wants to be in property, get in property, or is at a certain stage, doesn't really matter. It's just a really nice thing to get out and do, have a bit of a lads and girls trip. There was some girls came as well. Lisa's active in the property space. She's doing the assisted living stuff, and that was interesting. the kind of stuff she has to deal with like the kids' homes and stuff like that. It's just cool, man. Just cool. I'm really, really grateful that I came in the end. If I didn't, I'd have been like you, Jack. It'd be like massive FOMO looking at these guys going out and hitting golf.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. Just to mention those two events that you just referred to. So for our listeners, we've got a ground up go-karting, which is going to be hosted at K1 Speed in Canary Wharf on the 28th of November. Tickets are selling super quick. We'll put a link somewhere in our bios or around this video. And then also we are hosting an event on the 9th of January in central London. You'll probably see some stuff coming out, but yeah, the event will be well over 100 people. We're going to do almost a live podcast on stage, so a Q&A, so people can ask questions, and there'll be loads of other speakers. So get those 2 dates in your diary and come along.
The link will be in our Instagram bio, guys, just for future reference. If you ever want to see whatever we're on with or what we're up to, or any events or links to the network or anything like that, it'll be in our Instagram bio. You can access all those sorts of links, and a big emphasis on networking, like just get to know new people. I think everyone who came as well was really grateful that everyone was so sound. Like, I think the 4 of us have a good click of just being genuine, trying to be as genuine as we can, try to be nice people, trying to help others out. And it was nice to see that. Nice to see that work.
The thing I take away from it is that you don't understand how much people invest like their time into like what we do, and will really invest their time into really getting to know us digitally. So Jack and Josh, they were like, you guys are just exactly the same as you are on the pod. It's just so nice to be around you. And they were asking, like, they come with 2 or 3 sort of key questions, which, yeah, of course, we're sitting there, we're chilling in the sun. You know, we're more than happy. We're all got our time to give in those moments, so you can really get into some deep conversations with these guys and try and learn so much from them. I mean, Josh is running a construction business, really successful, doing some great stuff. But everyone wants to grow and sort of get to the next level. And I think, you know, you don't know what you don't know, and you're around other people who are doing stuff. You just got to take 1 or 2 good ideas away, and it's worth the time. Yeah. So the other girls, so you got Sophie, who's into lettings, that she's looking after a massive family portfolio, and you've got obviously Mia, who is part of Cass Staff Group, who's looking after D and put a great event on. So yeah, right. Shall I go through this list then? I can read them all out and we can talk about them, because some of them are quite funny. So it wasn't.
Yeah, let's go one by one.
One by one. So if you can't change gear on your driveway, you're not working hard enough. So that was just a motivational thing to try and get a bigger house, to aim for bigger aspirations. Don't spend speed. Yeah, don't spend your principal. Live off its reward. So it's just don't spend your earned income effectively. Put your money to work and then enjoy your life based off of the rewards that gives you. Never save what another man can print, which effectively is the fiat system and the pound coin. Learn about putting your money to work and buying assets. You're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Number 4. You're only 3 connections away from anyone in the world. Brackets, maybe 6, unless you're Stu. I thought it was 3 people you could get to anyone in the world, but yeah, consensus was 6.
No, it's definitely 6.
Maybe that's Stu, maybe it's social media now.
Stu, what was the one
social media? You get direct.
What was the one before that again?
Never save what another man can print.
No, sorry. Yeah, no, you're the sum of the 5 people you spend most time with. Yeah, just to double tap on that. Like, look at us 4 now. Like, compared to before we knew each other. Like, if you spend time around people who are all active in the space and you do things, and like, we wouldn't have done this golf trip or the ski trip or the podcast, or I'm sure our businesses might not have been impacted in the same way. I know mine wouldn't have been without knowing you guys. So just like, I think we're a good example of that specific rule, that you just surround yourself with active people, get immersed in it, and your life could just go in a whole different trajectory. Like, I was in a fucking boy band. Like, I was surrounded by, you know, proper mongs, and now I'm surrounded by some big hitters in business and property development. I don't know if do you guys feel different, like, since we've obviously all spent more time together, like working on a project together? Do you feel like that's changed your business course or your like life journey?
100%. I mean, I think there's different layers. There's Wales' version of the ground up pod mug. The nice one, Dorian.
My new mug. I didn't say it at the start before I finished it.
Did you almost spell it wrong and have to redo the R on that?
Is my famous handwriting. It's probably the worst you'd ever meet. And it's pretty much unreadable unless you've got my brain.
I've got a funny story about handwriting, which sort of full circled this week. So we had. There you go. We had the lady from Mind Oxfordshire come with like the big check for our charity donation that we did for the paddle. And anyway, last year when she came, she had already written on the companies and the value. And when she got there, I looked at her and I was like, that handwriting is almost unreadable. How do we tell her? Because she's this lovely old lady from the charity. And we were like, oh, basically, I nudged my office manager. I was like, can you just pretend that she missed a company off and we'll redo it ourselves? And anyway, we managed to sort of negotiate that, which was quite funny, but so awkward because, it's one of those things you don't want to break her heart and tell her that her handwriting's really bad. So you have to give it another excuse. But back onto like friendships and surrounding yourself with people. I think it comes in layers. So like if you're at an event and you meet people and you ask people questions, that's a really good place to start. I don't actually think you really get true traction unless you spend more than just meeting people at an event, like a boardroom style or the ground up network where people can ask question after question. Or even the further layer where you become mates. That's really, I think that place is really important. And a prime example of that, I was in a team meeting this week and we were talking about management contract in portfolio building. And I said, Ryan's probably got one of those. So I pinged Ryan a message saying, hey mate, have you got a management contract? Within seconds, he had replied with his management contract. And we're doing the same thing so far away. It doesn't matter if we've got a similar contract or the same contract. And it saved us percentage time. And then I sent my one back and said, this is what we've got. And it's all that sharing and caring. Because if you imagine any business, if you could have another business that's doing the same thing and you share notes, you're both going to get double as good. And then if you have 4 people that are doing that, you're constantly improving and reiterating and having tips in your business about how you can change. People often think like business is thousands of decisions a day, which it is, but some of those decisions will make your business successful or will make your business fail. And socializing those ideas and things is a really good idea, and having other people's opinions on them, which I think is really, really valuable. I always get when I'm mentoring someone, I'm like, so why do you do that? And they're just like, oh, just do. And I'm like, well, if you didn't do that, you would be able to put that capital into X, or you'd be able to do Y. And it's just like having a second opinion on some of those things is more, it kind of, a lot of people say work on the business and not in the business. But what if you had 4 people working on the business?
Yeah.
Your strategy is going to be so much more powerful.
On the back of that, Jack, it's just so you're aware, we had some positive feedback for your mentoring skills from a fellow guest who came along, who said they've been having a couple of sessions with Mr. Jiggins, and he said very, 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 very valuable. And one piece of advice you gave is what comes across as simple to the likes us, but this is where knowledge sharing is so important, about a certain deal he was looking at, and exactly specifically how to make it conditional on if the building becomes listed during your conveyancing, they can pull out and get all of the funds refunded, the deposit, etc. Could have, because he was looking at a very nice building that wasn't listed but could be listed at any moment. Then that there was helping them protect a safe downside, and if it did happen, that would have been in the tens and tens of thousands. So it's bit of positive feedback for you there, mate.
And what would you say, D? Because you've mentioned a few times on this podcast where you're like, I don't have many friends anymore because I've worked so hard for so many years and kind of like lost contact with a lot of people. And now we've got this friendship and an extended network of friendships that are growing. How would you say it's impacted you personally or for your business?
Yeah. Well, I've always been open with that. I don't I stopped drinking at a young age. I opened a business at a very young age, and the businesses were all, I tried to scale them all as fast as I could, and I went into different sectors of the business. So I built business contacts, but I've never, like, we speak to some people, I'm not members of, I've never been members of sports clubs. I'm not members of membership clubs or activities. I'm not in WhatsApp groups with like the lads. Never been on a stag do. Didn't have a stag do myself. I was just all business and networking and stuff like that. So And as I said, if I wanted to go, one of the reasons why I run these trips as well is if I want to go to golf in Villamora, which I wanted to do, I don't have anybody really. I can just message, be like in terms of the group of lads around Wales, who wants to come, who wants to jump on a flight and come to Villamora with me, and let's go play golf on some championship courses. So because of that, then and leveraging my network, putting together these events really helped me build new relationships and solidify existing ones. Because as Jack said, I agree. I mean, if very quickly, for those who will see the content, if I'm just blitz through the itinerary of what we did when we was away, you can kind of see how you can build really solid relationships on the back of it. We arrived on the first night, which was the Saturday, and then we had everyone got together in the villa. Everyone got kind of he was kind of getting let down and stuff, and then we had an opening barbecue, which was actually cooked by one of the guests. He wasn't meant to, but just so happens that he loved barbecuing, and it was phenomenal food that he cooked, and everybody was so grateful. So straight away, this was a new guest. I didn't know him, and boom, all of a sudden he was loved instantly from everyone. It's like, because and then it was then everybody went out. On that night, I stayed in. That was the only night I stayed in on the first one, and then everybody obviously had great fun, because the night is equally as important as the day stuff. Definitely is. On the second day, on the Sunday, the problem is they went out on the first night, but the Sunday it was the wrong night to do it because people didn't get in. Stuart didn't get in till like 3 a.m. and I was sharing a room with Stuart. He went out every
18
night.
hours
He was an
sleep.
animal.
It's an 18 hours sleep, mate. No
Every
drink.
night after the first one, I kept saying, Stuart was like, "I'm not going to go out tonight, mate. I'm not going to go out tonight. I haven't slept. By the time I was downstairs getting ready, I turned around and there's Stu in his pink shirt. I said, "I thought you're not going out, Stu." Ah, it.
We have a phrase when we go skiing, because there's four lads and I'm the second oldest, and there's a guy that's a bit older than me. He's got a couple of kids, and he's a little bit more sensible until he's had a drink. And he always goes, "Not going out tonight, not going out tonight." And we go, "Just come for one, just come for one." So our phrase is "just come for one," and he's then always the last. He comes for one, and then he's always the last one out.
That's exactly why I don't drink anymore, mate, because it just doesn't
Yeah.
end. And
But
I can shout till 3 a.m. not drinking. Like, it doesn't matter. We're up.
yeah, you can. Stuart's energy.
In the morning.
It is mad, but so he came in at 3 in the morning, and then he couldn't sleep because the first thing he did when he got in at 3, because I shot up because I was like, "What's going on here?" I stayed in action man pose for I just didn't know what was going on. I was disoriented, and then first thing he did, he got his phone, led down. So right, I'm going to unwind now, and I just knew in my mind he was reading about Bitcoin, and then the next morning he was like, "Mate, I didn't sleep at all last night."
No, I must have done 120 bottles of alcohol-free beer over the course of the time. I was trying to work it out. Everyone was working out how many liters of alcohol they drunk. But I don't know what's in it. But you're drinking that at 2, 3 in the morning. You go back, you just can't wind down. So your mind is absolutely active. I walked into what was only known as a oven, baking, doing. There was no aircon on. It was like, I don't know, 3 in the morning. He's woke up like he was going to get.
It's probably without the effects of alcohol, obviously, like subdue you and knock off your senses and sensitivity to certain things. And if there's no alcohol in it, it's just sugar.
But the next day, the Sunday, it was the wrong night to do that because we had a golf lesson at 8 in the morning. Bear in mind, people weren't getting back till 3, and it was very messy. So I was obviously, because I didn't go out, I was up fresh, ready to go, pacing the kitchen. Where is everybody? But anyway, so about half of the people that should have been on the golf lesson only actually made it. The other half just couldn't do it.
Have you heard that, just on that reference there, have you heard that story of John Daly, and it was like playing like the Masters or something? He went out on the piss, got back in, and as he's walking through the hotel reception at like 6 in the morning, because he's been out all night boozing, he walks past Tiger Woods, and Tiger like shakes his head, and he goes back up to his room, gets a can of drink to keep him going, goes out and wins the golf that day.
He's known as one of those golfers that has there's the most natural talent. I think Tiger Woods is the one who said it. He's just the hours Tiger and others. Don't get me wrong, Tiger's obviously extremely talented. He downplays his talent, but John Daly is extremely talented, and then just doesn't get. I was told about him in bars, doing putt challenges and buying the whole bars rounds and stuff. Sounds like a fun guy. But then we went to San Lorenzo Golf Course, which was a lovely golf course, and we teed off, and we got back in the evening. And then on that day, we all went on a catamaran, a boat. And that boat, I don't know about you guys, but it was actually much better than I thought it was going to be. It was
so nice.
really good. Ryan did a phenomenal front flip 360 into the of the top of the catamaran.
He's been drinking all day, and I was sitting up on the top deck with him, watching his brain go round and round, like playing this jump out, and he was not going to not do it.
The platform bit that he had to jump off, he had to go like then over the bar, and obviously the boat's going like that. So I was trying to time it, and I was already.
And you were going like this.
Yeah, mate. I'm either going to nail myself on video, which will make for a good video anyway, or it might look half all right.
I actually went up there after Ryan did it, and what I was sober. So what I noticed is the floor was actually very slippery, and Ryan actually did a run. Say that again.
It was dry when Ryan done his. I think I was checking he wasn't going to kill himself. I was like, he's conscious eyes and ears to go, Ryan, mate, don't do that. But it was
when I was up there.
Mate. Go for it.
Because I've already went in the ocean. I did. And then, but when I went up there, it was slippery. I thought, oh my god, that So I just did a dive, but I was like, Ryan did a run and jump. If he slipped this foot there, that would have been an awesome video.
Great video, mate.
But the catamaran was good. We went paddleboarding. We was playing in the sea, had some food, came back, and of course, after we got back, the night took over. We went straight back out to the marina. We came straight back out for food. That was that nice restaurant. I wanted to go to the Wetherspoons because the pictures were looking lovely. And Stu was like, we are not eating anywhere where I can see the pictures of the food outside the restaurant.
No, I don't need to look at what I'm going to eat. I just need to read words. That's fine. That's my rule. We're going to eat out.
So we went to a nice restaurant when everyone joined us, and then we just took over. We went straight to the Irish bar, and then we went straight to karaoke. And then the night, all of a sudden, it was 3 a.m, and that was a good day. And on Monday, we got up again. It was a leisurely morning. We weren't teeing off till lunchtime, so we was playing tennis. We was in the pool. And those were nice. Those were nice moments as well. The tennis sessions we all had together. We played quite a bit of tennis, more tennis than I thought we was going to play. Actually, lots of different games. The pool was obviously good fun. When on the first night when we went there, we were playing volleyball in the middle of the street, nearly knocking people out. Stuart was anyway, and we bought a couple of inflatables, like inflatable crocodile and stuff for the pool, which was cool. And then again, same thing. After we got on Monday after the golf, we headed out and did to a different bar and kind of enjoyed the same night. And on Tuesday, same thing. We had a group tennis match, and we went to Quinto del Lago, which was my favorite golf course. I don't know about you guys. It was the last course was my favorite one. Really nice. And then we had a private chef that night when he homemade all of that food. By the way, he gave me his Instagram and said, if we're ever in Portugal, let him know again. And I was asking about his family and his kids, and so it was nice because he was actually supporting a local business there, and which was a nice feeling. Then there was the games night, and that's a lot of the games that you guys were playing. I've always struggled with games nights personally. I've always found them difficult, but I did get involved in the which
Empire.
I can't remember no, it wasn't Empire. I think I was watching that one. It was the other game. The one that Jim's face was just psychiatrist. Yeah. And so, but it was good to fun. It was good fun to play them. We also had a games room downstairs. We was playing pool and stuff. And there was what was that game we was playing?
Killer. It was Killer. To get everyone involved. So 3 lives, lose a life if you don't shoot, and if you get the black in, you get an extra life. So that was nice.
That was good. And then on that night, we went to the other part of Portugal, which was a bit going into like Benidorm. But it was really fun. Actually, we took over another karaoke bar there, and that was a really good night. And then lastly, Wednesday, we all headed to Aquashow Waterpark, and we basically, because it was a midday, not in term, we had the entire water park to ourselves, no queues, and we literally was the first ones there and the last ones to leave.
But it was like
We
a
weeded
load
out.
of big kids. Load of big kids like, oh, let's go on another slide. Oh, we've not been on that slide yet.
Yeah.
Let's go to this slide. It was
Yeah.
like, there's loads of kids everywhere, just all these
And
adults. It was well fun.
is amazing. But the great thing about these trips, as you guys are saying, is the relationships you build on the back of that. You all of a sudden become such good friends in such a short. It's so intense that all, you feel like you'd do anything for each other. And the other good thing about those trips is another idea of a trip gets born off the back of it. So Robbie was constantly pushing, right, guys, we've got to do a paddle trip. We've got to do a paddle trip. Let's do it in Thailand. So
Jim and Robbie are going to try and set up some murder mystery night in some log cabin somewhere, and they're going to try and get 20 people together for like over a long weekend or for a day or night or two, which would be quite good. So we'll see what they. I said to him, just ask everyone for like 500 quid, put it in the pot, and then just spend it and make it a complete mystery. No one knows what to turn up to. And the thing about that water park was, it not only did it weed out the men from the boys to see, because this theme park's like the biggest one in Europe, right? You turn up. I was not expecting half a roller coaster session, and it's that these things are like, some of them are rockets. So I love the adrenaline of it all. But it actually made people push outside their limits, things they would not do in their normal peer group. Like, I'm not going on that roller coaster, I'm not going on this spinny ride, I'm not doing this, that, and the other. Being in a peer group, it's like everyone's encouraging each other to go for it. Most of the people we managed to convince to do this stuff.
If you want to be peer pressured, just hang around Stu, mate. Stu's just like, just do it.
Absolutely. Jim is 6'7". He's an absolute unit, and I never knew he was so scared about a little roller coaster ride. Anyway, we got him on a few, and he just pushed the barriers, and he come off. Then he was like, "Yeah, let's go again." So it was great. It was great to see people sort of pushing themselves, and yeah, loved it. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
What's the next ones, mate, on that list?
So number 6 is society grows great when old men plant trees, the shade of which they know they never sit in.
that quote, Stu, when I got in at 3 and I got up at 7, and after the kids run, I went straight to site and I met the housing minister of Wales and the chief executive of a housing association, and it was like 20 odd people on site. We were talking, and she said something about her role, and I just said to her, I said, I learned a great quote. I've got to tell it to you, because it was about her job and how everything she's doing is like, she's got such big topics. She's got housing, local government, regeneration, fire safety, and she said, I can't fix everything. I've just got to be pushing forward ideas. And I literally word for word read out that quote, and she looked at me, and the chief exec, and they all looked at me. I was like, that's a great quote. I was like, bang.
Right, number 7. We are laying. Are we laying in bed, or are we going to keep rowing? So that's blame, excuses, denial, and ownership, accountability, responsibility. If you give up, you're which was number 8. Profit is sanity, turnover is vanity, and number 10, love what you do. If you're learning less than 50% of what you're doing, then you're in the wrong job. So there was our 10 of the afternoon, sitting around the pool playing tennis, where we all got together and sort of wrote our best quotes down. So
Beautiful.
yeah, it was good.
Well, thanks to just for our listeners who've gone through 40 minutes of us reminiscing on a golf trip. It is probably because we're partially hungover from a few days. We're just catching up, but also it's just it was just a great time. It's like finishing a school trip, and you do just reminisce. We're looking forward to the next trips and stuff. So if you want to get involved, make sure you let us know. Check out the links, things like that. But should we move on to what was the thing you wanted to talk about, Jack? You mentioned something.
I think I've got one to add to that list, that because I wasn't there, obviously didn't get added in. So 10, but I don't think it touched on, something along the lines of helping others without expecting anything back is definitely the ethos of our group and the Ground Up Network.
Well, I agree with you, Jack, and actually outside of that, there was lots of conversations, spiritual conversations, and you get deep, don't you, together, and we was all talking about religion and what it actually means to us all, and the common consensus was that we take the religious teachings, like the Bible, for example, of Christianity, and you actually, it's more of a like a life guidebook of how to be a good person, and in that it's basically, as you're saying, is be generous, do unto others as you would want them to do to you, but give and don't expect, just live life in a good, positive way. Be decent, and it will come back to you in karma energy. Boosh.
Good karma, baby. Amen. Well, Jack, I'm pretty sure you said something at the start that we were going to touch on.
All of this medical stuff with Trump standing in front of the UN.
Yeah, God, yeah, that UN talk was mad. He's just there dissing this in front of the United Nations, going like, "You're a shambles." Literally is what he was saying to them.
I mean, it's. I mean, did you hear what he said about our London minister? He was just basically
Our London
he was
mayor.
Like, man.
he is just the worst. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, the main thing I wanted to touch on is obviously Trump is an extremely outspoken person, and often he comes across quite stupid, so he doesn't really back it up with any stats and figures. And he's brought out basically the main friction in the market is his talks of certain medications and certain things that you put in your bodies that might give children autism. And the backlash is unreal. Like it's tons of people just saying that he's going against science, and he's talking. I'm not gonna say my picked side, but interestingly, it's kind of like he has been so impactful on the world already in a short term. Like it's very, very rare that a president has had such an impact on the world, for good or bad. And the everyone, it's you've got full end of the spectrum. Like what people in the UK are sharing more posts and hatred and or positivity than for US Prime Minister. Well, obviously not Prime Minister, but version of our Prime Minister, which is I can guarantee if you said to the average American who is Keir Starmer, they'd be like, don't know. Is he an astronaut? Like they won't know who he is.
He's a wet lettuce, is what he is.
Well, Joe, let me double tap on that, Jack. With the science bit, because I think the more Trump's going on, the more you can just see his wisdom. And you think about the guy, and whoever's might have their opinion on Trump based on what they've heard in the media, or if they don't like his style. I don't particularly like the American arrogance that he elicits, but that's you kind of got to be as a president. You've got to have, I'm the boss, I'm in charge. The people put me in power. So it's me that's the representative. So I understand it. I don't particularly like it, but the guy's he's been in business and worked like an absolute mother for decades and decades and decades. Built a big media enterprise essentially with the rip off of the Apprentice that they do out there. I can't remember what their version is.
I think he OG'd The Apprentice.
Oh, he was before Sugar, was he?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
No, he weren't. It was the UK. It was UK, I think. I'm pretty sure they
Sugar was first, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Britain's Got Talent, X Factor, and all that stuff. They always seem to copy our great ideas. But anyway, so he's been around the block. This guy's been.
It started in the USA first.
Did it really?
Did it? Okay, fair.
January 2024.
Someone knows their Apprentice history.
Sorry,
Don't want to be the
2005.
general knowledge quiz within.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of Shark Tank, which is their version.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
that was from Dragon's Den, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so he's fought in New York City for like major freehold skyscrapers. Like you're cutting your teeth in a certain kind of way there. Then in Vegas with casinos, he built the media stuff with The Apprentice, and obviously got super famous off the back of that. He's done many other sorts of deals. He owns St. Anne's golf course. All of these things he's done. The guy's a deal maker. The wisdom he's picked up along the way. And you can see his wisdom and his understanding of macro markets and trade and things like that playing out. And yeah, he doesn't articulate himself particularly well, but he's definitely been right on a lot of assumptions. And I know we talk about going against science and things like that, but it's definitely known that the most powerful people in the world are scientists, cutting edge physicists. Gave us the nuclear bomb and can give us weaponized vaccines or weaponized diseases, and then we need vaccines for those things and stuff. So the scientific community has been weaponized, and we saw that through COVID with Fauci trying to hide where COVID really originated from. So I think Trump's right to be skeptical of the scientific community and just go, look, we've clearly got more autism now than we did 50 years ago. Why the fuck's that happening? It's probably to do with our food or to do with the vaccines and medical care that we're giving kids from a young age. So my 2 cents is I probably agree with him there.
Healthy debate. If you say something and someone challenges it with good evidence, then it improves the result of that thing, right?
Did you have that? What Keir Starmer's announcing today that he's actually going to try and push ahead with the digital ID, the UK digital ID. So it was on the news last night. Like that's not a good start. That is the start of a
Robotics.
yeah. Well, just I mean, yes, it's a way of getting around immigration, but it gives the government such a level of control in terms of controlling where you can go, where you can't go, privacy concerns. There's loads of stuff that I think Blair tried it in the 90s and it got squashed. But it'd be interesting to see if they bring that out.
I mean, how will it stop it? Immigration.
Well, if you can't use the bus, if you can't buy food shopping, the control the government will have.
So you become an illegal immigrant and get everything for free anyway.
Everything I have is digital. My train ticket was digital. But my phone died because I left my charger in London with Ryan and Jack when I was recording, and my phone died on the train back home. And when I got back into the Newport train station, it was at 10:30 or whatever. I showed the guard that my phone was died, and they basically like, well, it's not my problem. Where's your ticket? I was like, it's on my phone, and he clicked the button, battery's dead, and then she's like, well, I might have to make you pay for another ticket. I'm like, my card is on my phone, like it's on my phone. I don't. All I have is my phone, and she's so then I'm in an hour in, and in the end, she let me go through, and she's like, bear in mind there was no one else in the train station here, so I don't know, but she's like, listen, mate, I'll let you through this time, but if you do it again, I'm charging you. I was like, all right. But so this comes to the thing is, aside from the fact about like data and all that, not everyone has a phone. And if you do have a phone, it's not always charged.
I done that once at Clapham, the upper crust. I literally had to stay there for 20 minutes and just ask the guy. I said, "Look, I'll buy a coffee and a sandwich, but can I charge my phone?" They are great if people ask, but it's just an annoyance. But the biggest issue I got with this UK digital ID is that the second you can't book a train ticket until you've proven who you are, and then the layers that will be built on top of it, it's just the next step. It almost makes you think that they're bringing in legal immigration to make it a problem, to make everyone go, right, we'll go for digital ID, and then they can start building all the financial model on top of it. And it's just the next step to central bank digital currency, unfortunately, which means they'll control if you can have enough alcohol this week. They'll control if you're traveling too far away from your own home, and if you just got to look 30 years out to the erosion of trust with the government, I think it's just the next step of there.
There is another side to the argument, because I do think in the world we live in now, there's a huge efficiency gain and a security gain for digital ID on a decentralized, trustworthy, immutable ledger, something that's not centrally controlled and can be manipulated by government, i.e. we can see the back end code, it's open source. There's definitely a benefit to it, particularly with regulating social media, because then you can't have bot accounts and these farm accounts that can manipulate algorithms. It could just be a source of truth. And we do need it. We do need a digital ID system, annoyingly. Like we can't keep heading in the way we're going in the world.
I think it should just be required on request for the things that you want to do, like a digital passport, that if you want to fly somewhere, you show your digital ID. But this would be a mandatory thing that we would be forced into to then be more controlled.
Yeah, it's the control.
It's a bit like me saying to you, right, we're going to change how the police force works now. We're going to put a camera in your house.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
like that's just the layer of security that it's allowing.
Just look at the data breaches. I mean, all these things that are happening with the NHS, and then there's that school that's been hacked into now. So they're starting to post on the dark web all of the information about the young children. They've now got all their data about to try and obviously to bribe the nursery to pay in Bitcoin, which is again a bad thing on Bitcoin because it's it's out of the normal system. But like if you've got everything on the ID, the thing is with businesses is they will be able to choose whether they won't only serve you. So if you want to get a train, if the train company say I need your digital ID, you either say yay or nay, you either give it to them or you don't get the train. And that's where it all starts. It's that yes, it's all good if you choose to give it, if you want to book a flight. It's when you're made to give your ID and stuff into these companies.
The MO of this is to improve or make it more difficult for illegal working in the UK. Is that our problem though? Like, surely, talking about when we left the EU, there was a lot of people that sided with actually a lot of that international workforce was really valuable in our country. You know, in especially in the construction industry and labor and skilled workmanship, like we implored them to come and work in our country. But like if you know, take a look at what you see in your world, because this is the way I like to see it. I think we're in a little bit of a bubble in Henley, but do you think Henley-on-Thames's biggest problem is people illegally working? No. You know, let's take London for an example. I think the problem is that people can run around balaclavaed up and steal things. And I know I could probably name a person in the last month that I know of that went to London and they'd tried to steal his phone. So surely we should be looking at, let's give, if you're caught with a knife that could do damage with you, 5 years in prison on the spot. That's one particular problem. The problem isn't the person, you know, the poor person that's working in the back of a kitchen might not be allowed to work, but they're trying to make ends meet for their family. So I think it's not. And then the person that you arrest, you've got their criminal profile then, and they're in prison and they're on the record, and all of us people can continue living normally.
Hello, my darling. Sorry, boys. I did ask Jack. I said about our podcast. He said, "Do you?" I said, "What can we improve on?" And he said, "To be honest, mate, I love the fact it's so raw, and the family men you're cracking on, and your daughter just can walk in and say hello. So say hello to the boys. Say good morning." Hello. She was 4 this week, but I missed her actual birthday. She can't hear. She can't hear. She said, "They said, how you doing? You're right. Hey, Hads. All right, mate." So they're all off to nannies for the day. But what I was going to say about the seat is that we've already got a UTR, right? We've already got a unique tax reference for tax. We've already got a national insurance number for our health. This digital ID, in my opinion, is only to be the plug and build CBDCs on. There's no real need for it. If you're going to stop people working, you need to obviously take a UTR number. You need to take national health insurance. So
the one thing I think should happen is aggregation of your profile. So that I do believe in. So rather than having several, hello Hudson, rather than having several different codes or things, what is the sort of like combined result? Because at the moment we've got, you know, like you said, national insurance, tax reference, social media presence, whatever it may be. I think that should be encapsulated into one, which I think is a really good idea. I think my concern comes around what they use it for and how they limit what we do, if that makes sense.
Totally makes sense, mate. I might need 30 seconds just to get these out the door. Unset.
What's your thoughts on it, other than running out of battery? I cannot wait for that to happen again and for you to bump into the same person. That all
Problem
makes
is
my
that these phone batteries they start dying so quickly now, and also my charging port is quite sensitive, so now I need to spend like another £1,500 on a phone type of thing. But yeah,
I'd highly recommend a power bank. They're just better than charging at a wall.
Yeah, I might get a power bank and I might use it while I'm watching TV.
Dorian, as one of your gifts, mate, to booking the golf trip was the Dorian Payne battery pack that goes to the back of your phone. So just take one of them with you all the time, mate.
This is my problem with these things. My brain can only compute to phone, wallet, keys, earphone, charger.
That's it.
And then a notebook. As long as I got them
pockets. Okay.
things.
So I don't know if you're on Apple, but I've got an what's it called? What's the little disc that tells you the location of something? AirTag.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So I've got the AirTags, which I think are great. One goes on my dog's collar, one goes on my house keys. Since I've got the
one
Tesla,
goes in the wife's purse.
Yeah, exactly. see where she goes in the day. Because since I got the Tesla, and you don't need a car key to even get into it, I kept leaving my keys everywhere. Because I normally leave the office and I go, I need my car key to get into the car and drive the car. But now I don't have to do that. I kept leaving my keys in the office. But anyway, the AirTag goes on my keys and it notifies me if I've walked away from them and left them in the office. It's cool. It's really cool. So I can look at iPad, iPhone, laptop, keys. You can tag it to anything, dog. So I can see where everything's at any given time live on my phone. And you just, when you lost something, you just go, get your phone up, see where it is, go, yeah, I left it in the office.
The tags is that it makes the alert. So every time I drive off, because mine's tagged with the family one, And because it's not on my phone, the thing goes diddle 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 every time I get in the car, which is
Stuart, come back.
does the dog start whistling, like making a a chime noise every time
I think
drive
you
up?
can. I think you can
Every
change
time
that.
Kelly walks the dog,
chiming.
starts belling at her.
Yeah, once a
yes.
year.
I bought 10 of these books recently and handed them out to my staff. Go for no. Great sales book.
What objection handling?
All about how to just do more, how to do more deals, and the and what you need to do. And the answer is you've got to go for no. I think the one biggest thing I've learned from my team as they're growing and through there is when it starts getting to constructive debating and sharing ideas and opinions and being and not being afraid to be wrong in what they're saying, and also to constructively challenge other people when what they're saying might not be the best idea. That's what this is all about, really. It's only a small book. It's 73 pages. You could read this during a lunch break, literally. So
Brilliant.
no excuse.
There we go.
Thank you for sharing that.
Link in the comments
Yeah.
below.
use the coupon code Dorian's recommendation. I get 10%.
Dorian's books.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Right, I'm not here next week, boys. I'm here for 2, and I don't want to get any bad comments to say that I'm not making the effort, and I'm not.
You're not making the effort. Wait, yeah. You turn up half-assed.
But Jim is going to fulfill my space next week, I think. Hopefully he said he'll come. That's it. You eat your pancakes, my darling, and just be quiet for 2 secs. You too noisy. So,
Well, for some reason we can't see it. It's all gone to
Yeah.
Should we close out the
shit.
session?
This is what happens when Ryan's not set up properly and runs it properly. But we'll call it a day. Thanks, boys. Thanks to everyone. And leave us a comment below, and we'll see you on the next episode. I'll see you in a few weeks when I get back from Dubai.
See you soon.
Roundup sound. Ooh, yeah. Real estate deal. We lay